Hello, this is Pablo Perez. I'm a solutions engineer at CTERA Networks, and I want to show you in this demo how our CTERA gateways, also known as CTERA Edge Filers, work with DFS to provide high availability of them. So for this demo, I deployed a lab here in my Mac with several virtual machines. The first one is the CTERA portal that is already up and running. I also deployed a couple of virtual gateways, Virtual Gateway 1 and Virtual Gateway 2, to show you the high availability of both of them together with Windows DFS file services. I also deployed a Windows Server that is providing the DFS file services and also an Active Directory domain controller, and a couple of Windows workstations for the end users to show you the end user experience. So first of all, I want to show you what is set up here in Portal and the server. I will go to the inner workings later on, but I want to show you a quick overview of what is set up here and what you can see. So the portal is up and running. You can see here in the console that the portal is started. Okay, and the Windows server, it's set up with an Active Directory and a DFS server. The Active Directory has some users from Game of Thrones characters, Daenerys, Jon, Tyrion, and the DFS server has a global namespace or a namespace called Seven Kingdoms that is pointing to Dragonstone and Winterfell, that are shares that are set up in our gateways. Now let's go to the end user experience. I'm logged in this workstation as Daenerys, as you can see here. And first of all, imagine that Daenerys is traveling. It's not still at the office, and she needs to access to the information and what ways she can go and access the information. She can go, first of all, through a web browser. It's the easier way to log into the portal, see her cloud drive where all the folders and the files are. So she can go to my files, she can go to share with me and see what's inside and what is stored in the cloud. So if she goes to my files, she can select any file and make the usual tasks in a file sync and share environment, like see the version history and restore previous versions. She can share the files with other people in the company, like Jon Snow. This one is shared in read-only mode. And also she can see what the company or some users in the company is sharing with her. In this demo, I share with her Dragonstone and Winterfell folders that are the folders that are in sync and cache to our gateways. Okay, so the next way to access the information is through a CTERA agent. If she has a laptop, she can download the agent, and once installed, the agent will show you an icon in the taskbar and will provide Daenerys the ability to sync and share information and backup information from his workstation. So both features are built into the platform, and she can sync any information through the web browser, through the Windows Explorer, because it's fully integrated. So if she goes to Cloud Drive, she will see my files folder with the same files that I was seeing in the web browser. She can also, with the integrated menus, share the folder with other people or the file, create public links, okay, or any other task. So if I click on a file, I can also create public links, share the file, see the version history of the file. So fully integrated, and she can work with Windows Explorer and the CTERA agent together. And also the agent supports caching, so only the most frequently accessed data and files of Daenerys will be stored locally in the local disk in this workstation. So she can have up to terabytes of storage in the cloud, or have access to the global namespace that the company is sharing with her, but only, let's say, 50 or 100 gigabytes are cached locally to the local disk of this workstation. And the third way to access the information is through a mobile app, CTERA mobile app, and she can access the information with a smartphone, with an iPad, and also with all the features that she has in the web browser and the agent. Okay, so now let's focus on the demo. Now let's imagine that she's already at the office or in the Seven Kingdoms. So she will map a network drive that is pointing to the DFS share, and behind and in the background, the DFS share is pointing to a couple of shares called Dragonstone and Winterfell that are set up in our gateways. So they mapped the Seven Kingdom share. Once she clicks on it, she will see Dragonstone and Winterfell shares or folders. She can go through the folder. She can see the files that are inside the folder. So I'm accessing, or Dynetis is accessing, to the folders and files that are stored locally in the gateways. The gateways also are caching gateways. They support caching and can cache information up to terabytes or up to petabytes of the cloud, and store locally some terabytes with the most frequently accessed data of the users in this office. So let's open one file of a share and make some modification. So I have some test here in previous demos. So let's make some modification. So this is a write for demo on Wednesday, July 4. Okay, so let's see if Dynetis can save the file. So I'm working directly with a file that is stored in the gateway. Dynetis can save the file. So let's close it. And now let's shut down some gateway, okay, and see if Dynetis can still access the information, okay. So let's go to Seven Kingdoms again and go to Virtual Gateway 1, for example, and shut down. Okay, so now we have only one remaining virtual gateway, that is Virtual Gateway 2. And let's see if Dynetis can still access the information and write something in the file. Okay, so let's go again to Dragonstone folder. So now DFS is taking care of that some gateway is down and is redirecting the users to the remaining gateway. So it's taking a bit of time, and Dynetis will have access to this folder once DFS has taken care of this redirection. If the Dynetis were accessing the folder through Virtual Gateway 2, the access will be immediate, okay, because DFS won't have to redirect any user to the remaining folder. So let DFS make his work, and Dynetis will have access. Now it is. So the Dragonstone is accessible for Dynetis. Now she can go into, she can see the file that was writing before, and now let's make another write and see if she has write access. Right after Virtual Gateway 1 is down. Okay, let's see if she can save the information. So she can, and work with the file. So you can see that Dynetis has access. For her, it's transparent if gateway is down. So she has a high availability of the two virtual gateways at the office. So now let's simulate that there's a disaster in the site. The two virtual gateways are down. So what's happening here? So let's go to this PC. I see the Seven Kingdoms share here, but I can also access to the information through WebDAV. So let's go to Virtual Gateway 2 Let's shut down also this virtual machine. Okay, and now what happens? Okay, so Daenerys won't have access to 7 Kingdoms share anymore because it's all the 2 virtual gateways are down, and the folders won't be there available for her. But she can go directly to the portal through WebDAV. So she can mount the files through WebDAV, and she can, after a login and credentials, she can go to the portal, go to my files, and see what's there in the cloud drive. She can see the CTERA wallpaper, the getting started guide that I was showing you before, and also she has access to share with me, where she will see the Windows Store, sorry, the Winterfell and Drown Store shares. Okay, so this is the way that Dynaris is having a fully, highly available scenario with a couple of virtual gateways. If one virtual gateway is down, Dynaris will have access to the remaining one. If the 2 gateways are down, maybe you have a disaster in the office, you can still work mounting in a traditional way, mounting the shares through WebDAV directly to the portal, or you can access the information through web, or you can download an agent and sync or access the information through your Windows Explorer with the integrated menus. Okay, so after seeing the end user experience, I will show you more in detail how the environment is set up, how our gateways are set up, or how they are working together with the DFS to provide high availability, and see the inner workings and what is actually happening in background. Then, as I showed you in the beginning of the demo, we have here a CTERA portal, a couple of virtual gateways, a Windows server, and a couple of workstations. The CTERA portal is up and running. Here you can see that it's started, and I will show you a little bit more in detail how the DFS is set up. Also the Active Directory. The Active Directory, you saw before that we have 3 users. We have also a group for sharing information with several members. So this is the group GOT, Game of Thrones, where the 3 users I have in the Active Directory are members, so I can share information with this group, and will be shared to all the members of this group. Also, the DFS, we have here the namespace called 7 Kingdoms. This namespace is pointing to a couple of shares that are set up in our gateways. If I click on one of them, you will see that Dragonstone is a share that is pointing to a virtual gateway 1 share called Dragonstone, and virtual gateway 2 with the same name. So this share is pointing to both virtual gateways, so that's the way it's providing the high availability. And the same happens with Winterfell. The Winterfell namespace is pointing to both shares on both virtual gateways, and there's one DFS namespace called 7 Kingdoms pointing to both Dragonstone and Winterfell. Okay, so now let's go to the portal. I will show you the administration panel and how the users are set up here. This is our administration panel web interface for the CTERA portal, and I will show you here the users that are set up in the portal, and some other features that are in the gateway. So this is the administration panel for portal MVP. This is the portal I'm using for the demo, portal mvp.storagebrigade.me. And here we have some local users, like the admin, the one I logged in. The other one is an owner. This is a project's owner that is sharing some folders with all the users in the Active Directory. And also, I can connect to the Active Directory domain controller I have defined, Storage Brigade, and I will see here all the users that are members of this Active Directory domain controller. So you don't need to create the local users for all your users in your company. You can just connect to your Active Directory, and all the users will have access if you run them to log in to the portal. Okay. Also, you will see here that the virtual gateways are how the virtual gateways are set up. Let's log in to virtual gateway 1 and virtual gateway 2. Okay, this is virtual gateway 1, making the login, and I will also log in to virtual gateway 2 with the same user, admin, to show you how both virtual gateways are set up. Okay, so let's go to virtual gateway 1. Here you will see some basic admin information in this admin panel, like the storage, the volumes, define. So we have some this virtual is defined, some volume for the shares, and store the information. But the most important here are the shares. Okay, so here in the shares we have several shares defined by default, like in the gateway, like public share that can be enable or disable, the backups for the local backups, the cloud where all the users have their information in sync or cache from the cloud, and also we have the shares that we are using in this demo, Dragonstone and Winterfell. Okay, so we support nested shares that remove the complexity of having long network paths and eases the migration and consolidation process. Okay, so these are the shares that we are using for the demo. In the portal, these shares are shared to the users by the owner. Okay, so I have a user called owner that can be any user on your company, or it can be a generic one. And this user is sharing Winterfell and Dragonstone folders in the cloud with all the users in Game of Thrones. So you can see here that this user is have Dragonstone and Winterfell, and is sharing this information with the people in Game of Thrones. Okay, so you can see here that he's sharing information with Game of Thrones group, and also some individual users like Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen. Okay, so this is the way how we can work with nested shares. We can sync information from the cloud and to the cloud, and cache information, and work with our gateways. And now, to finish this demo, I want to show you what's really happening with DFS and our CTERA gateways shares when DFS is providing the high availability. So for that, I log out as Daenerys in this workstation and log in as Jon Snow. And with this user, I mounted all the shares that are available for the users. So I mounted not only 7 Kingdoms, that is the DFS share, but I also connected the Dragonstone share from both Virtual Gateway 1 and Virtual Gateway 2, and Winterfell from Gateway 1 and Gateway 2. As you remembered, I sat down Gateway 1 when I was showing you the end user experience with Daenerys user. So these shares are unavailable, and Windows is reflecting that with a red cross. And the 7 Kingdoms is still available for the users, and the shares in Gateway 2 are available for the users, and these are the ones that DFS is pointing. So if I access the 7 Kingdoms share, I will see Dragonstone and Winterfell, and I will see the files that I was working before. So the Dragonstone text file with Daenerys rights there inside. And I can create a new file, for example, here. Let's create a new text document. This one is from Jon file, Jon Snow. So I can create files, I can write something in the file. So let's open it and write from Jon. Okay, now let's save it. So I can work with files, save the files, create new files in the gateway. So I'm actually working with Gateway 2, which is the gateway that is the remaining one. So I have access to the 7 Kingdoms folder and share, but the DFS is taking care of all the redirections and redirecting the users to the remaining gateway, and I can still access. So it's working not only for Daenerys, also for Jon, and you can see here actually that the gateway 1 is actually down, and once the gateway 1 comes up again, it will sync the information that I modified here. So gateway 1 will also sync this new file, and you will see the new file in gateway 1 as well if you work directly with it. If not, as you are accessing DFS, it will be transparent for you. Okay, so I think this is all I want to show you in this demo. Hope it's useful, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.